Hi there, welcome to another episode of Trainer Tip of the Week. So last week I started breaking down fundamental movements that you see in the gym. So I was showing you some do's and don'ts on the squat. So if you're not sure how to use that, you should definitely go check out that video. This week I thought I would continue on and break down another popular move you see in the gym, and that is Romanian deadlifts. So there's two main types of deadlifts. One is the Romanian deadlift and the other one is the conventional deadlift. So a while back I did a video that talked about the conventional deadlift. So today I'm just going to focus more on the stiff leg one, or the Romanian. I tend to call it a stiff leg deadlift just because people get confused on what a Romanian deadlift is. And if you say stiff legs, then they know they're not supposed to bend at the knees. So I'm more of a fan of the conventional type deadlift because it's a bit more functional for our day-to-day life. It mimics how we pick stuff up and put stuff down more than the Romanian deadlift. But then at the same time, I like to do some moves at the end of my leg workout that really isolate my glutes and my hamstrings. And the Romanian deadlift is great to do that. So I'm going to show you how to do it properly, some things you want to do, and then I'll show you some things you don't want to do, and then I'll come back and I'll touch on a few key points to keep in mind as you're doing it. So you're going to set up with your feet about hip width apart with a barbell. In the demo here, I'm just using a broomstick, but you would have a barbell. Obviously, the heavier the weight, the harder it would be. So you're not really bending at the knees. You're more focusing on hinging from the hips. Now, I always have a little bend in the knees as I do this move because I find I can't keep neutral spine. So I round over in the lower back. So the tighter the hamstrings are, the more it kind of pulls that pelvis into a posterior tilt, which would cause the flattening out of the lower back. So again, bend the legs a little bit in order to help maintain neutral spine. You also notice the bar is nice and close to my thighs. And as I tip over, I'm maintaining neutral spine. So I'm not rounding over in the upper back. I'm not losing that curve in the lower back. And you're just going to about mid-shin or as far as you can go while maintaining neutral spine. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to completely keep the legs locked out because, like I said, as you can see here, I round over in the lower back. And that puts way more pressure on your spine, and it's how you herniate discs. So you don't want to be doing that. Again, have a little bend in the knees in order to help you maintain neutral spine. Now, if you do round over a lot, this is what I like to do with my clients before every set of deadlifts, is taking a stick and putting it up against their back, and it should stay in contact with the head, the upper back, and the bum. If you're losing neutral spine, you'll see it come away from your head or away from your bum. Then after we do like 10 practice reps with that, then we'll actually go and pick up that barbell, and I find it's a lot easier to maintain proper form. Another thing you don't want to see is the bar coming away from your body. For every inch away from your body that bar is, it's going to put way more stress on your lower back. You want to keep that bar against your thighs throughout the move. You also want to make sure the head, you're not looking straight to the front as you tip over. That'll put a lot of stress on your neck extensors. You want to tip that head down and again, think of maintaining that neutral spine throughout the move. And then lastly, you don't want to go all the way down to the ground because I find after about that mid-shin, you round over in the lower back. Okay, so that is the Romanian deadlift. So the most important thing to think about it, if there's just one thing you're going to focus on when you do it, is maintaining neutral spine. So when you tip over, your back should not change at all. So you shouldn't round over in your upper body or lose the little curve in your lower back. You want to hinge from your hips. So if you're not very good at hinging from your hips, you could benefit from practicing doing the cat-cow dynamic stretch. That's where you're on your hands and your knees and you're just pushing your back up towards the ceiling and then down towards the floor. If you're not able to maintain neutral spine when you're doing this position, then I do not recommend doing it, because you're going to put more stress on your lower back and you're likely going to get an injury or pain. Now, the other thing to really keep in mind when you're doing it is, where do you feel it? It's a really good exercise to work your glutes and your hamstrings, but if you feel it all in your lower back, chances are you're not engaging your glutes and your hamstrings, and your lower back's trying to do all the work. So that's going to affect the ability of weight you can lift, as well. It's going to make you more likely that you're going to get an injury or pain down the road. Next week, I'll break down another key fundamental movement. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode of Trainer Tip of the Week.